In the last few days, I have packed up everything from being in Texas for the last few months. I have flown from Austin to London Heathrow, got a taxi from London Heathrow to London Gatwick, and flown from London Gatwick to Spain, which is where I am now. Needless to say, I am jet-lagged, grumpy, and in need of a few chilled-out evenings after work where I can just sit on the sofa, smash some gluten-free snacks, and do what all self-respecting men do to kick back and relax and watch a military movie.
Sound off like you got a pair.
Sir! Yes, sir!
Obviously, you've got the all-time classics like Full Metal Jacket and Apocalypse Now, and maybe some newer classics like Lone Survivor or American Sniper. But what I want to do today is share with you three of my absolute flipping all-time favourites that I believe are grossly underestimated. The number of people that I speak to that have even been in the military or kind of a fan of this genre that not only haven't seen this movie yet, but haven't even flipping heard of it is mind-blowing to me. So get your snacks ready, get your comfy pants on, and let's do this thing. Number 1, Hunter Killer.
You ever had to make a call like this before, Captain?
No.
In this absolute flipping powerhouse of a military movie, Gerard Butler plays a US submarine captain who basically teams up with a group of Navy SEALs to rescue the Russian president. Might sound a little bit mental, but the Russian president himself has been kidnapped by a military coup. So as with all great movies, there are a couple of different storylines that are kind of running concurrently here. So you've got the underwater stuff with Gerard Butler actually in the submarine, captaining like a pro as you'd expect. And then you've got the SEAL team above ground doing what they do in all American-made movies about the American military, which is kill everyone without much effort. I don't really want to go into too much detail on this, guys, but it is an absolute flipping classic kind of high-stakes diplomacy, race against time, disaster-averting movie with a couple of amazing plot twists. Even the last 15 minutes to me, couple of things I really didn't see coming, and it was just something that kept me on the edge of my seat basically from the beginning to the end. Hunter Killer, it's on Netflix, one of the most underrated military movies of all time. Number 2, The Covenant.
Unless he's leading us into a trap.
Well, that's a pretty big assumption, Ahmed.
Deduction, not assumption.
So, in this film, guys, Jake Gyllenhaal plays Sergeant John Kinley, who's a serving US Army sergeant in Afghanistan, and he gets this new interpreter called Ahmed. Ahmed is a really interesting guy. You learn a little bit about his dark past and why he's so passionate about helping the Americans as the movie goes on. But basically, in essence, this is what happens. This is not spoiler alert, don't worry. So Kinley, Jake Gyllenhaal, gets injured. Ahmed, the interpreter, saves his life and basically has to get him to safety. So a big chunk of the movie is effectively him attempting to do this. All of the trials and tribulations that he is facing in rural Afghanistan, while he himself is obviously moderately local, but he's trying to hide and injured, and when I say injured, I mean basically perpetually unconscious for this part of the movie, trying to smuggle this guy out of the danger zone and into a little bit more of a safe area. For any veterans out there who served in Afghanistan, just watching this kind of landscape can be quite emotive, or not even really emotive, just engaging in the fact that you're very much into it, you're kind of enthralled and engaged with whatever you're watching, because they do this stuff well, man. Like, it is realistic. It's not like they get it wrong. Obviously, because it was a recent conflict that we have, I imagine they'll have so many people to help them kind of inform on set, and they'll have consultants or whatever. Yeah, it's very realistic, but it's an amazing movie. It's an absolute flipping amazing movie. And obviously that's kind of the first section of the film. Once all the other stuff happens, if you're literally that sensitive to spoilers, skip forward in 2 minutes, and I'll give you 3 seconds to do that. 3, 2, 1. Obviously, he does save Jake Gyllenhaal's life. This happens literally probably about a third or halfway through the film. The second half is equally as good, if not better, than the first. And the bond between these two men, even though they piss each other off on a daily and hourly basis when they're at work, through this experience just forged such a strong connection. And any movie and any film that has that as part, a core kind of tenet of its storyline, which is these two men becoming brothers through the overcoming of adversity and challenge and danger together. I'm obviously going to be flipping down for it, and the fact that it was directed by Guy Ritchie just basically means that you can be assured and be safe in the knowledge that you are watching an absolute A-class masterpiece. The Covenant, directed by Guy Ritchie, my second underrated military movie of the day. Third and finally, Triple Frontier. So this is about a group of former US Special Forces operators. I think from memory, these guys are Air Force Rangers. And this small, incredibly close team basically reunites a few years after leaving the forces to A, perform a good deed and perhaps help South America by getting rid of a flipping pretty sketchy drug lord, and also maybe get a little bit of money out of it as well. one of the foundations of the reasons that they do this. This is Ben Affleck, this is Charlie Hunnam, this is Oscar Isaac, Pedro Pascal is an unbelievable cast. And one of the things that's quite powerful is the fact that these guys were like, you know, one of the best SF units in the world or whatever. A few years after they leave, they're not dead yet. These guys are only, you know, probably late 30s, early 40s. And they are in a state of absolute financial desperation. So the fact that they're doing something that might give them a quick injection of cash isn't from a place of greed, it's not from a place of gluttony, it's not from a place of bloodlust. It's really from a place of their life's just in an absolute shit state now. I think at the beginning it shows Ben Affleck as like a flipping estate agent or something now. And you can just tell that these guys are just tortured by their complete fall from grace of their warrior spirit. Just doesn't know what the hell to do with itself now. As you'd expect from a Hollywood action film, the mission is obviously not as linear as you would expect. It takes a pretty harrowing turn. So we're looking at betrayal, we're looking at unforeseen challenges, we're looking at some moral dilemmas in there as well. Being a bit of an outdoor junkie and an adventure nerd as well, one of the things I loved about this particular movie was all of the landscapes and the beautiful scenery that you get to see of kind of the part of South America that they're in, and the challenges that you see these veterans face in regards to their loyalty to each other and in regards to their ability to survive in a very unforgiving wilderness. Triple Frontier, I feel as though I watched this a couple of years ago now, when it first came out on Netflix, but I spoke to a few of my veteran buddies and none of them have even flipping heard of this thing. And considering the cast as well, it absolutely blows my mind. So in terms of storyline, in terms of flow, you'll be engaged and plugged in and won't be looking away the entire time. So guys, there we have it. That is your homework over the next couple of weeks. What amazing homework to have, right? These three movies, again, I'm not saying that they're the best military movies ever. That's not my claim. My claim is that they are three grossly underrated war films. And that is what I wanted to share with you today, in case you lovely, now lucky people haven't seen them yet. So there we go, guys. Hunter Killer, The Covenant, Triple Frontier. Get the popcorn out, get your comfy pants on, and that's a nice 6 hours for you to enjoy. Guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do smash that like button. Any comments or questions on anything we covered, please comment down below your three favourite military movies of all time. It'll be interesting to see if there's a little bit of meaningful discourse in there. If you haven't yet done so, make sure you subscribe. Why not check out one of these two videos to watch some other military-based content that I've done. And as always, lovely people, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I'll see you all in the next video.